The criminal justice system is designed to ensure fairness and accuracy, yet history has shown that wrongful convictions occur far too often. A significant contributor to these miscarriages of justice is flawed testimony, either through mistaken eyewitness accounts, coercion, or false statements. This case study examines the wrongful conviction of an innocent individual due to unreliable testimony, highlighting the consequences and the eventual exoneration. In 1984, a brutal assault and robbery took place in a quiet neighborhood in the United States. The victim, who suffered severe injuries, provided police with a description of the attacker. Based on this description, law enforcement arrested Michael Carter, a local resident with no prior criminal record. Michael Carter was just an ordinary man. He worked hard, paid his bills, and lived a quiet life. He had never been in trouble with the law, never had a reason to be suspected of any crime. But on one fateful evening, his life changed forever. The police knocked on his door, handcuffed him in front of his family, and took him away for questioning. He was confused, scared, and utterly unprepared for what lay ahead. He thought justice would prevail, that the truth would set him free, but he was wrong. During the trial, the prosecution's case heavily relied on the testimony of a single eyewitness who claimed with certainty that Michael Carter was the perpetrator. However, several factors contributed to the flawed nature of this testimony. Misidentification. The eyewitness identified Carter from a suggestive police lineup where he was the only person matching the initial description. Memory distortion. The crime occurred under stressful conditions, which can impair memory recall and lead to inaccuracies. Pressure and confirmation. Bias. The witness may have felt pressure to identify someone, and law enforcement's subtle cues might have reinforced their choice. The witness sat in the courtroom nervously glancing around. When asked to identify the attacker, they pointed directly at Michael. The jury watched intently, so the prosecutors emphasized how confident the witness seemed. But what they didn't understand, or chose to ignore, was the psychological reality of memory distortion. The witness believed what they were saying, but that didn't make it true. The mind can play tricks, especially under duress, and in this case, an innocent man was about to pay the price. Despite a lack of physical evidence linking Michael Carter to the crime, he was convicted and sentenced to 25 years in prison based solely on the eyewitness testimony. This wrongful conviction led to devastating personal and social consequences. Years of wrongful imprisonment, loss of career and family life, psychological trauma and stigmatization. The real perpetrator remained free, possibly committing further crimes. Michael sat in his cell, staring at the cold gray walls. He had been stripped of everything: his freedom, his dignity, his future. His family visited when they could, but with every passing year, the weight of injustice grew heavier. His appeals were denied. No one wanted to admit that a mistake had been made. He was just another statistic, another forgotten prisoner lost in the cracks of the legal system. Meanwhile, the real criminal walked free, living his life without consequences. Years later, with advancements in forensic technology and the emergence of organizations such as the Innocence Project, Michael Carter's case was reopened. A DNA test on evidence from the crime scene revealed that another individual was responsible for the attack. Additionally, legal experts re-examined the reliability of the eyewitness testimony, ultimately proving its inaccuracy. Michael's case file sat untouched for years until a determined defense attorney decided to take another look. When the DNA evidence was finally tested, the results were undeniable. Michael Carter was innocent. The truth had been there all along, but the system had failed him. It took relentless effort, legal battles, and the support of organizations fighting for justice to finally bring the truth to light. But was it enough? Could anything ever truly make up for what he had lost? In 2005, after spending more than 20 years in prison, Michael Carter was fully exonerated and released. His case became a landmark example of the dangers of relying too heavily on flawed testimony. The courtroom erupted when the judge announced his exoneration. Tears streamed down Michael's face. He was free. But freedom came with a price. 2 decades stolen, relationships broken, a lifetime of experiences missed. How do you rebuild after that? How do you move forward when the system that was supposed to protect you is the very one that destroyed you? This case underscores the urgent need for reform in the justice system, particularly regarding the use of eyewitness testimony. Some critical lessons and changes include implementing double-blind lineups to prevent suggestive identification practices, educating law enforcement and jurors on the fallibility of human memory, increased reliance on forensic evidence to corroborate witness statements, legal support for exonerated individuals to help them reintegrate into society. We must learn from cases like Michael Carter's. We must demand better policies, improved procedures, and a justice system that values truth over conviction rates. No one should have to endure what he did. No one should have their life stolen by a system that refuses to acknowledge its flaws. The wrongful conviction of Michael Carter serves as a sobering reminder of how flawed testimony can lead to irreversible consequences. By learning from such cases and advocating for judicial reforms, society can work towards a more reliable and just legal system, one where innocent individuals are not punished for crimes they did not commit. Justice is not just about punishment. It's about fairness, accuracy, and accountability. It's time we demand a system that works, not one that ruins lives. Michael Carter's story is one of many, but if we listen, if we learn, perhaps it can be the last. If you found this story intriguing, don't forget to like this video and share it with others who love true crime mysteries. Subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into shocking cases and hidden truths, and let us know in the comments. Do you believe eyewitness testimony should still be used as primary evidence in trials? Or should it always require additional forensic proof?